Holy Fran Drescher, Harley Quinn, Batman! Tiki here, and I've been watching through Batman, the animated series, for the first time. But alas, at my side is someone who knows the show like the back of his hand. Someone who can guide me in the ways of the Bat and clear up everything around this amazing series. Dragon, tell him why.
Well, you see, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham, in a way.
That's right, and tonight we're talking about Joker's Millions. Dragon, this is, it's getting kind of toward, not quite at the midpoint of the fourth season, but, we're getting there. Like, we're slowly but surely, like, working our way through to the end of the show, and then God knows what plans you have for me after that, buddy. But, Dragon, this one was quite good. It was quite entertaining. I liked it a lot. It's not up to the same level as Never Fear, but I think it's in a solid, probably, like, top 3 of the ones we've talked about so far in terms of season 4. And definitely a better Joker episode than the other Joker appearance that we've gotten. I think that this redesign, honestly, animation-wise, Dragon, like, I'm still not completely sold on it, but there's definitely moments that make me think, like, oh, okay, I kind of more get stylistically what they're going for than I did before. That being said, I really like the first act of this thing, man. The first act of this thing fascinates me. The whole, Joker living in kind of like an impoverished lifestyle. I'm really into all that. And then it's got a really clever kind of gangster plot line to it. It feels kind of Scorsese-esque, Dragon. Like, honestly, a plot like this is kind of like what I wish they would have made the Joker movie like, instead of just like, we're going to do Taxi Driver and King of Comedy again. Because this kind of has like that sort of gritty feel that the Joker movie was kind of going for, but it really sort of does its own thing with it. So, Dragon, I was very entertained by this one.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
But, so, let me provide you a little bit of background here. So, Joker's Millions, this is directed by the great Dan Reba, again, kind of the Dan Scanlon of the Batman brigade, if you will.
The Dan Clan.
Yes, that's a better name, the Dan Clan. Clan of Dan. All right, anyway, so Dan Reba, of course, just to give you a few credits for New Adventures, was Cold Comfort. He's been doing a lot of New Adventures direction, but let's just, of course, he kind of worked his way up, is why we call him the Dan Scanlon, as part of the Dan Clan, if you will. But just for the purposes of this episode, from the animated series, he did one of my favorites. He did Riddler's Reform, which we do a reform of sorts here, emphasis on the sorts, but we'll get there. Writer on this, I mean, do you even have to guess? I mean, it's who else would have written this episode? It's a Joker episode. It's a well-written Joker episode, which means it's Paul Dini. It's nothing but Dini, baby! Oh, love me some Dini.
Just put his name up in lights, man!
Yes, oh, the Dini splendor. But, so of course, Dini is like pretty much anytime Joker shows up. I mean, he was around during Christmas with the Joker, so technically he's kind of been around for all of it. I mean, that thing, he's been, even if he didn't write it, he was in the room. So essentially, Dini was the guy on Joker. He did Holiday Nights, did Laughing Fish, my favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series, and also Riddler's Reforms. That kind of tied it all together. So the studio worked on this. Not TMS, I'm afraid, but again, we're striving for the TMS style via Coco and the splash of Dong Yang. Little dab of Dong Yang will do you, but let's be honest, it's a name brand only, I'm afraid. It's all Coco.
All right.
So Coco, of course, having done Double Talk, Cold Comfort, and Holiday Nights. Again, the whole synergy of our revamped Joker here, and just kind of some recent things. So it's interesting background, not a lot, but just something really specific you need to know about this one. So this is an adaptation, Tiki, this whole episode.
It feels like one, yeah, I'm not surprised.
So Paul Dini loves adapting the classic Batman comics, most famously in we're not quite going to cover it here. One of these days, I do hope you look into it, though, if you haven't already. It's from Batman Brave and the Bold. It's called Chill of the Night. It's like the most heralded episode of that series, because that show is really Silver Age centric, and that's like the one really dark episode pulling from a Silver Age comic.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically the whole, like, Batman going up against Joe Chill episode, which they never covered in the animated series. But again, so Paul Dini likes pulling from the original sources, is my point here. So he did that here with Detective Comics number 180 from the Dick Sprang era. Hence all the giant props in this throughout this whole thing. It's Dick Sprang loved giant props, like giant typewriters. In this case, giant computers. It's like Batman from the 50s era, being the point. So that's kind of where we're. This is very much 50s Batman that we're seeing here, which you rarely see, because we always go to the 60s and the 40s. We never really linger on the 50s. That's Silver Age, kind of like big old Silver Age territory. Anyway, so basically it's kind of that mixed with a lot of nods to Brewster's Millions, as you can probably guess from the episode's title.
Right.
Let's see. One last thing. We kind of reference in the episode later. This connects to World's Finest. That remember, Joker's one of the big sell lines with Mark Hamill in the World's Finest Batman Superman crossover was, "Pay me $1 billion and I'll kill Superman." So Joker strapped for cash.
Which, as we'll get into, Dragon, that is absolutely my favorite element of the episode for sure. It's just nice to see Joker kind of like having like real world problems.
Exactly, and this is the idea being this is like a month after that, and this is the first time Joker has really surfaced, because again, Holiday Nights is a little out of order, but take that out of the equation. It's been a month since we've seen the Joker, and he's coming back again since that $1 billion deal didn't go through. Well, let's just start the episode.
All right, so Dragon, first of all, I want to acknowledge, like, this is one of those rare instances where we kind of get a title card.
I know, right? This is the closest we ever get to a title card. I mean,
yeah.
No, I was talking about Mad Love for a second, but no, not even there. This is the only time we get something close to a title card in the new Avengers.
So that's neat, the giant computer. And then Dragon, one of my favorite details here, because it really would have been like high-end technology at the time, just the giant DVD that they run past.
I love that we use it. I forgot that we use it in the action scene, though. That was really Batman's taking cover behind the giant DVD, and he punches Joker like through the center of it, which is awesome.
Yes.
But my favorite detail, the thing that makes it feel like a title card, is we have like a little musical sting as the Joker's millions being like dun 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 dun, because they had the full music crew on this one, like Lolita Ritmanis, Mike McQuistion, and the whole brigade, like the kind of the terrific trio of composers on this, I believe.
Yeah,
great guys. Anyway, so at least I think so. The point being, like, we're really bringing the guys who are really going to go into do justice. Basically, we have like a house, like the sons and daughters of Shirley Walker, really at play going from this point forward. Like, we're bringing them in. Okay, so Joker's robbing a software expo, hence all the giant Dick Sprangy, the DVDs and computers and thumb drives and robots and such.
So they're basically robbing innovations.
Exactly. All right. So, by the way, here's something I give points to. Again, all of the Dick Sprang of it all, the whole '50s kind of gangster of it all. Joker sporting the iconic purple overcoat and the hat. Looks great.
And that is where I'm going to make my first point about the design, Dragon. I think the design is served better when he's got the hat.
I know. I'm with you.
I think when it's just bare bones, kind of like, just the suit and not the hat, I don't think it looks as good. I think the hat helps accentuate kind of like the more simplistic features.
Well, it's the hat, and also the coat kind of hides the fact that we really scrawnied him up, too. That's kind of I think we haven't really seen him in like the purple hat and coat since Laughing Fish and the black version of it with Phantasm. It's been a long time since we've seen the Joker really kind of quite dolled up for like really an excursion here, like good old. Anyway, so point being, Joker's dealing with Batman as Harley's kind of stealing the loot, as it were, and we have some fun action, and Batman just punching him through the DVD, and basically again because somehow in Kids WB now handguns. Let's hand them out to everyone. Let's handgun it up. Let's just shoot our hero with.
You get a handgun. You get a handgun.
Yeah. If you're a clown, you get a handgun. Anyway, the point being, Joker is just he's going at it with Batman. Shooting them. Just again, no hiding that, no Tommy guns. Anyway, so let's see. So we have again Harley's grabbing the loot, like, hey, watch it. So she's got Joker runs out of bullets just as he comes across them to try and make their getaway. More bullets! Sorry, Puddin', that's the last clip. You know how expensive they are.
So I love how this is like a stereotypical, like, Joker scheme, but they're kind of slowly working in like, yeah, they're having money problems.
Yep, and again, Tika, just as we've been kind of circling around for a lot of this here, like that DVD.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, I love Joker dealing with the mundane money problems for a criminal, like that. Again, after a certain point, especially if you get foiled by Batman in Gotham, we've kind of seen this with the big business types. We're finally seeing what kind of the iconic foes now, which again shows that Batman's winning, and I really like that too. He's getting there. He's getting there. So Joker is kind of scrounging here again. I love that we just have like this mundane kind of like kind of couples argument between the two of them, like having money trouble. Which this episode very much is the cornerstone of what we have on one of our kind of our sister projects here with Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World on Just Giglet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thomas very much when we start talking about that show. This is the kind of Dini stuff I'm talking about at the beginning here. This is the kind of like Joker Harley dialogue that we get in that show. It's coming from stuff like this is pure Dini writing that he's evoking there.
Mhm.
All right, so Batgirl, she says, "Oh, someone turn off your cash flow," and then we have this great line from the Joker. It's a great setup line. "If it's a flow you want, I'm happy to oblige." And he's about to go for the acid squirt flower. And Tiki, I swear to you, I love the acid squirt flower, but we've only been able to use it once in the entirety of the animated series. We've only been able to use it in Mask of the Phantasm.
But I mean, story-wise, there's a good reason why it doesn't go off.
It does. That's what I'm saying, though. We're always finding a reason on the small screen not to use the acid because it's too violent. Because like, oh god, he squirted acid. It's too imitatable. It's too dangerous. I don't know why. But it's cool. But yeah, no, you're right though. It does play excellently though. Where it's just like, it's Joker's in trouble. Then we have this awesome bit, which unfortunately is a little hindered by the revamp look, where Joker gets punched in the eye, very 89-esque. It's like, oh my eye, and the fake body part comes out, and it's a white eyeball, which again, had his eyes not been reversed, all black and little pinpoint white on it, this guy could have sold a little bit more. But point being, it's cool nonetheless. So, point being, the eyeball explodes. Joker and Harley begin their getaway as Batman and Batgirl take cover. Meanwhile, the couple conversation goes on.
Yes. So, so essentially, they didn't stop for gas, Dragon. Or no, they did stop for gas. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, she didn't stop for gas because she didn't have any money. What was I supposed to do? Just kill the guy and drive away? Yes.
Fill the tank, shoot the guy, drive off. Mm-hmm. Well, now
how was I supposed to know?
Oh god, just
like as mundane as arguing over getting the wrong kind of milk.
Yeah, but also it's this whole like, what broke? What'd you expect me to do? Like the whole like, hey, we're having money problems here. And Joker didn't even want to do this heist. He's saying, well, that was a complete fiasco. If we wanted so scrapped for cash, I wouldn't even touch this job. Because again, Joker's all about the whole personalization here. But it's like, no, we got to get in. We got to do the job we need to do versus like the artistry of the clown prince of crime. Right. Usually up to. So the point being, they run out of gas, so their car is no longer moving. This is like the opposite of that scene in Suicide Squad, essentially, where date night has kind of come to a screeching halt. Batman and Batgirl come around the corner, and luckily, Joker thought ahead somewhat. He uses the old ejector seat, which never gets old. The ejector seat is always awesome. And then Harley's looking for hers, and fortunately for her, as Joker tells her, sorry, kiddo, I could only afford the one. You lousy, you pasty-faced cheapskate. Tightwad. Oh boy, I'll get you for this. And she will, but we'll get there. Then we enter your favorite part.
Yeah. I love the dinginess of this apartment building, Dragon. It's just you got the random guy just sleeping on the couch. You got just the no nonsense landlord. You're 2 weeks late on your rent, so sue me.
It gives him a letter. And by the way, I love this. There's a fun nod to the comics too, which again is probably in the original book because it was in the 50s. So I mean, I think it's when this thing started. Where one of Joker's aliases is Mr. Kerr.
Yes, Joe Kerr. I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. So Joe Kerr. It's really. Oh, it's a fun. It's always a fun pull. I love that we got it in here in the adaptation. It's really awesome.
So, Dragon, honestly, I love the shot of the apartment, just the establishing shot of the apartment. it's like a painting, you know. It tells you so much about this guy's lifestyle. It really is like artistry, man.
It is. And speaking of artistry, I love like they have like all the sad clown paintings around
Yeah,
the
the sad
place.
clowns, the hyenas, the peeling wallpaper, the suit on the leaning rack. Just the fact that everything's out of order, the sofa that's been chewed on. I mean, it's like there's so many little details in this one shot, Dragon. It feels so lived in.
Absolutely, and again, it's power of the animated series. They convey so much in the static visual image. Sometimes, you know, it's
Uh-huh.
just so much.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, so Joker saying, "Oh, what a bitter jest of fate! The once mighty Joker without 2 nickels to rub together." And then, of course, the hyenas show up, and they're just kind of bothering. Of course, Harley obviously is really kind of palsy with Bud and Lou. Joker, I love like Daddy's had a hard day mentality. He's kind of having you. Oh, why don't you do me a
But I
favor?
like that he still cares about them, but he's just not very lovey-dovey with them. You know what I mean? He doesn't like. It's not like it's not like he does. He dislikes them or anything.
True, and that's the thing. I love that Joker. It's a fact that Joker, he loves the aesthetic of the hyenas, but he just doesn't. It's like in the relationship. Harley's the parent who takes care of the pet when the kid does. He says, "Oh, I want to do this. I'll feed him. I'll clean up after him." But he doesn't do any of that. Harley does.
Yeah, right.
Oh, by the way, fun fact again. I don't know if you know this little zoology thing here is hyenas can't be trained, which is why Harley Quinn is so special. She was able to train hyenas.
No, I didn't know that.
That's why, like when they do Birds of Prey, they can't use an actual hyena because you can't train hyenas. That's why they got to do like the effect on it. All right. Anyway, yes. So, Appointment Joker's received a letter from the landlady. Opens it up, and basically, long story short, I love Mark Hamill's letter reading comedy. By the way, it's really on point. I love how he's emoting just the reaction there. It feels so fun and natural. Yeah, here, letter so and so informing you. The passing of his old rival, crime boss, Edward King, Edward, aka King Butler. Ooh, I hated that guy. I love that line. It's like, ooh, good. I really hated that guy. So, by the way, the whole early crime boss thing, it's unclear whether this is like, Dini's take on the Joker has always been that, we don't really know anything about his past, but like what we saw in Phantasm, he was like a nameless gangster in probably a whole bunch of gangs around the years.
Sure, yeah.
So it's either that, and then this guy recognized him when he turns into Joker, or it's just Joker in his early years. He was going up against the mob a little bit, kind of like the Dark Knight, So something along that's again kind of very 50s-esque. So they weren't,
Yeah, I didn't mind how vague it was.
No, I'm saying it's cool how vague it is. I'm just saying like,
yeah,
little Barlow of it all. It's kind of nice. I'll take any strings the Phantasm I can take, is what I'm saying. So. Okay, so he's been bequeathed an amount, Tiki. Do you know how much money?
Oh God, it's like $250 million, right?
Yep, $250 million.
Dragon. Okay, I'm just gonna like. This totally seems like a, like one of those like, oh, I'm a prince of a small foreign nation and I need your help.
Oh yeah, it does. It does kind of seem like the old sheik scam. The old Arab prince scam, yeah.
But of course, who can blame Joker for being over the moon about it, though?
Again, in his current state, who can blame him? And again, this is what I'm talking about. This great guy. Good old King Barlow. I take back almost all the nasty things I've ever said about him. Bud, Lou is all loving towards hyenas, though. Our ships come in, boys, and we're going to spend. And I know just what we'll buy.
I love how, like, right from the very beginning, Dragon on a rewatch, like, it's like, oh boy, Joker is just hook, line, and sinker, man. He just gets sucked right into this thing.
He does. He falls prey to it, which is really impressive on Barlow's part, but we'll get there. So here, Tiki, on the rewatch, going back to this episode over a couple times, because again, of all the Joker episodes, this one is quite a fun one. Again, even though once you get past the revamp, because you're going to get the coat and the hat and stuff to kind of help you get past. The point being, I completely forgot about how really cool this was. The first thing Joker bought was essentially his sanity and a clean record. He bought a clean record.
Yes, yeah.
So, I love this. Is such a great Dini idea, and I forget if this per se was from the comic because it's kind of hard to track down and kind of read digitally or find it.
It kind of reads like him playing 4D chess in a way.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because at the very least, Dini added the OJ spin, which is brilliant. So I know Dini definitely put his fingerprints on this thing, where he basically Joker hired a Johnny Cochran lawyer to make a joke of the Gotham legal system. That's what just got me on the rewatch. Like, oh my God, that's brilliant Dini writing. That's Joker. The first thing he does, it's a joke. It's a joke at the even if not per se corrupt, of just how much you can just buy how flimsy justice is in Gotham. Oh, again, it's basically he's done this one so he could spend his money freely, but also rub it in the face of everyone without
exactly.
Yeah,
that's really the more important part, is the rubbing it in the face part.
Exactly, and again, just kind of an insult to what Batman does at the same time. It's it's the tide that raises all ships, and kind of Joker's glee here. So again, Tiki, big foreshadow, ready for it. File it away.
Okay.
So Jack Ryder, our new reporter, is reporting this. Again, big foreshadow. He is covering a Joker story that's going to come back.
Jack Ryder covering a Joker story. Gotcha.
Okay. Back then, it's pointing to Jack Ryder here, voiced by the wonderful Jeff Bennett. Does kind of a few of our mobsters in this as well.
And speaking of Jeff Bennett.
Yeah, speaking of Jeff Bennett, we hear the bodyguard, who's also voiced by Jeff Bennett, really unhappy about King Barlow leaving everything to the Joker, who he hated, but didn't leave a cent to his loyal, trusted bodyguard or any of his men. So he willed the entire fortune to Barlow, cash, jewels, and gold. So again, seemingly Joker, he's pretty well in hand. He's going the full Richard Pryor here. Seemingly things are going great for him. And then we have this gag too of how Joker, this great gag of how Joker kind of won everyone over in the legal system of he's a reform. Basically, how the heck is Joker going to be reformed? We have this great gag of a social psychologist evaluating Joker with some provocative Batman and Robin stimuli, the bat symbol and the Robin symbol, and Joker's doing this great. It's such a facade. It's so.
Dragon, it's almost dare I say, it's kind of like golden era Simpsons kind of writing with the social satire.
Dini loved the Simpsons, so that he actually worked kind of some Simpsons-esque kind of jokes like this later on.
Sure.
So
I definitely feel the influence here.
Absolutely, but it's the whole shrug and this is looking. And he looks at the camera yeah, this is all show, but. So just Joker making a joke of the legal system at Gotham. I just love it. So and then Jack Ryder's asking the psychologist, "Wait, do you think you're just bribing your way to? Do you think he's just bribing his way to freedom?" And then we pull back and we reveal this psychologist has been in this really nice car with a girl the whole time. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Okay. So we cut to my favorite part of the episode, Tiki. It's always I don't know why. It's not necessarily the best part of the episode, but just my favorite part of the episode.
Okay.
So we cut to the Batcave as Jack Ryder's wrapping up the report, saying, "Hey, now he's not only a free man, but a wealthy man." Batgirl's positing, "Well, now that he's rich, maybe he'll." She's half joking. Maybe now that he's rich, maybe he'll give up on the crime. And Batman, he's working on this bat tracking device, and he just snaps it in two. And I love how pissed off Batman is at this situation. And again, we kind of got a little bit of this in the dramatic sense in Never Fear, but as love ticked off Batman is, because he really, as we've established throughout the animated series, he cares about the reform of these rogues. We've seen it with, and he really we saw a little bit of this with Riddler, again, hence the whole Riddler's reform at all with our writers and directors on this episode. Again, he hates it when it's being taken advantage of like that. We saw how much he cared about Arnold Wesker earlier this season. So when Joker, his arch foe of all people, who he knows is so far beyond redemption, making a mockery of it. It's just it's just so hilarious. And Batman doesn't say a word till Bruce Wayne shows up later. By the way, so I love when we kind of build what Batman's reaction to all this is. We see he's just so pissed off and angry, and Batman's like, "I'm gonna get Dick. I'm gonna go on that stakeout. Okay, I'm gonna go." It's really funny.
All right, so Dick and Barbara are on said stakeout to the Iceberg Lounge. So here's an interesting thing. We get Paul Williams back as Oswald Cobblepot, and he's got a bit more of a refined design, which I honestly think, maybe controversial opinion, I think it's definitely different, but I think it might be an improvement.
No, it is an improvement. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but Tiki, this is a big first. This is the first time we meet our revamped Penguin and the Iceberg Lounge. First appearance of the Iceberg Lounge.
which looks great, by the way. Just the interior, it's definitely lived up to expectations for what it could be.
And my favorite set piece in the New Adventures, the big feather in the cap of the New Adventures, is we upgraded the Penguin pretty sweetly. Like I think he and the Scarecrow made out best in the revamp, all in all, when you really look at it. At the end
Yeah, because I love how it still very distinctly feels like the same character, but with just much more fluid animation to him and a much more kind of like easy on the eyes sort of design.
Yeah, it's the fact that the Penguin, because sometimes the Penguin could be off model with the old design. Because one, they were never going to use that again, especially given the sense they could, kind of go for a little bit more of an old school design with some of the villains. Like again, Penguin, this is what design they wanted to go with in the first place, but then Batman Returns came out, so they had to go with the DeVito thing, which I still like, by the way. Like in Birds of the Feather, again, that's an excellent example of what you can do with that character. But this is like almost, it's kind of like I can't call it a sequel to the episode, but I'm saying it's a continuation in the sense of, had Penguin, it's like Penguin after Birds of a Feather, as far as I'm concerned here. He kind of took his success, he took like the one win, and he kind of rubbed it in society's face. Said, "Hey, look, I'm on top now. I finally elevated myself to the rest of society, and now I get to decide who comes in my club or not. I run the hotspot." And the headcanon being that we're going to see this later in the revamp, is that Penguin, he's now an arms dealer and kind of a fencer. He fences stolen goods. So that's pretty much how he amassed the fortune to buy the Iceberg Lounge and the legitimacy and et cetera, et cetera. And my headcanon is that he also got surgery to explain his new appearance, just to kind of keep up, kind of match the new lifestyle, is my guess.
Yeah, totally.
All right, anyways, yes, Iceberg Lounge. We have this great gag with Barbara, how she gets in the club. It's the Penguin's capping the line. And then, do you remember what Barbara does?
Oh no, it's Gordon's brat.
You think he wouldn't let the police commissioner's daughter in here, and they just like, oh god, I gotta let her in now. It's like, oh yes, Miss Gordon, please, come in, and by all means, send the bill to me. And I love just like him murmuring under his, oh, thank you, Piscopo. He's just murmuring, lousy little freeloaders. He's giving like the, oh hi, have a good time away.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. All right, so then we have inside again. As you said, the interior of the Iceberg Lounge looks great. It's very classy. It's kind of like like that club in Great Muppet Caper, just a little more ice themed. I don't know, it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the scale of it with the sea lions and everything. Just the it just really makes sense in terms of like what it could be. Just like it reminds me of like kind of something that would be in Disney. The Epcot Pyramid restaurant, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like you got the the iceberg as kind of the centerpiece, and then the tables around it. I don't know. I just like from an interior standpoint, it's just really well designed. I like it.
It's nice that when you can actually have like Iceberg Lounge means something outside of like, hey, the outside is a little icy, but no, there's an iceberg in the inside, hence the iceberg.
Right, yeah.
Makes perfect sense. So we're inside. Joker's having his going legit party, which he has a giant Dick Sprang cake of his own head, which is awesome.
Oh my god.
Just like
Joker's ego is just out of fucking control this episode, Dragon.
And Tiki, what's great on the rewatch is you can just you can do the figuring in your head how much how much of this is amassing out of the amount of money we know he actually has at this moment. So he's doomed.
Oh, I mean, the 10 million goes by like that. I mean, it's not even quick.
Good. So Penguin's asking, so what's the scheme, Joker? And then Joker's saying, oh, no scheme, old bird. I can let old Bat Boy eat his heart out, and if Joker only knew, but he is kind of right though. I mean, not with the money of it all, but he really is. Batman is eating. He's really eating Batman up here, and he's just so ticked off. Here's the thing. Here's what's so great about this plan too, is that Batman can't go after the Joker right now. Joker hasn't done anything wrong. He's obnoxious, but he hasn't played anything wrong. So Barbara's point is kind of right, and that's what's really pissing Batman off. I mean, but he's not though, and he just bought his way out. That's not how it works. All right, so living well is the best revenge, but meanwhile, Barlow's guys, they got other plans.
Yeah, so they burst in with heavy machinery, Dragon, heavy machine guns, just for the kids.
For kids.
Joker's about to get cornered, but then of course Nightwing and Batgirl sweep in for the rescue.
Yep, we're tossing guys in the water with the sea lions. We're dropping chandeliers on guys. They're okay though. And we're Joker kind of bonks one on the head with the champagne, the little kind of champagne bucket or whatever. Again, he really likes that move. I got to give him points though. Like Holiday Nights, he does it. The Batman does it here. Maybe that's where he got the idea for Holiday Nights. Man, that was a really effective way of knocking somebody out. I got to use that. Anyway. So so then we have this great gag where he's like, oh, he thanks the kids. He says like, we were saving innocent lives. You're just an unpleasant bonus. Be that as it may, your grateful Uncle Joker wants to thank you. And he gives him like a couple, probably $100 bills or something. He says, stick this in your piggy banks. They do this really great move. They crumple the bills up in like a unified motion, just drop it at his feet. Joker laughs off. Let the good times roll, which then leads to one of the best parts of the episode.
Dre, I just want to say really quick, if that fucker called me, called me his Uncle Joe, I would do more than crumple his money in front of him.
Yeah, not exactly. This doesn't give you the warm and fuzzy feeling of Uncle Walt, does it?
Right.
Well, then again, I guess that's soured too over time, so maybe. Anyway. Okay. You really think, especially going by the 50s of it all, but okay. All right, so then we have a really fun montage of Joker living it up.
Yeah, this montage is fucking amazing.
So essentially, this is Joker blowing through said money and basically doing it Brewster's Millions style, which I gotta tell you,
Joker ruining Bruce Wayne's day, Dragon.
I really got to go back to Brewster's Millions after this episode at some point. I mean, I don't even know if I ever fully watched it. I remember I watch all the time when they talk about it on VH1. I just can't remember if I actually finished that. Anyway, but yes, Joker's buying mansions. He's painting it purple and green. He's going golfing, which he's ruining Bruce's little cute golf course date. The music's great, by the way, because every time we go to Bruce Wayne or Batman, we hear like a little bit go from like that like the happy piano music to like, okay, Batman's not happy.
Right.
Then Joker's like doing like money paper airplanes, like with people chasing after him. Batman and Batgirl are watching, and Batman's just peeved as he turns around. Then he's doing like the 89 money toss. Just like a lot of 89 in this episode is like tossing money around. Like, who do you trust? So we cut to Arkham, a little TV in Arkham as guess who's watching.
Yeah, so Harley is, she's a little taken by Joker's accumulated wealth, but Ivy thinks that's a little pathetic.
Yep. Harley's saying, well, I mean, the money troubles are over now. It's just a matter of time before he buys my way out of here like he did him. And then Ivy says, somehow, Harley, I don't think so. She shows, like, yeah, sure, Harley. And then she shows her the newspaper, which has a big old headline to you. What does that big old headline say?
Joker seeks new assistant.
Yep. Joker seeks new hench girl. And we just have this, we cut to the outside.
Yeah.
And we cut to the outside. I'll kill him! As Farmiga-esque as Harley's ever sound.
All right, so this turns into my favorite sequence, I think, the Joker auditions.
Yeah, this is one of the greats, dude. This is oh god, this is so funny. We have this hilarious Harley lineup, all these different women, all these different people in Harley outfits. On Ernie, but I kind of like this guy. I don't think this guy shows up again. Joker goes. He does predominantly have like the giant mime henchman, but he does have a couple kind of stragglers. Like Ernie, for example, he's he's a one shot. I do like Ernie in this episode. He's very.
He made a presence in the episode. He has a few things to do.
He does, especially as a big role later in the episode.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Ernie, it was kind of nice to give Ernie impact. Anyway, so Ernie here is like, hey, why not buy Harley a ticket out of the bin? And here says, mustn't be too extravagant. Plus, it's cheaper to buy a new one. So I love how abusively cruel yet hilarious Joker is in that moment. Just like, I'm just going to leave her in there. It's like, come on. Everything, especially given where your relationship starts with Arkham of it all, you really can't. You can't return the favor, you prick. My God.
Right.
It's just so. Anyways, then we have this hilarious. I'm sorry, you want to take him through a moment?
Too small, too large. Too old.
Then we have the best one.
Oh god, and this guy Dragon, I was really hoping he was gonna pick him because I was picturing Peter from Deadpool 2.
So you know who this is though, right?
The voice actor? No, not really.
Tiki and the model. He's modeled after Tiki. This is Paul Dini.
Oh, modeled. Yeah, I could see him being modeled after Paul
No,
Dini.
I'm
Sure,
saying it's him
sure.
doing the voice too. It's only one line, so yeah, it's
Right,
just
right.
so
Nice.
man, this genius. This is it's a beautiful little fourth wall. He's like Paul Dini auditioning to be the character he created. He's in the biggest Harley fan
That's
there
great.
is, dressed in the big old Harley. Again, Dini was a little heavier back in the day, but you know they just kind of beefed him up a little henchmanish. So just like I love the Joker pauses though. I just love the pause where he considers it. It's like no. He moves on and just like this beat here says, "Darn!" You just see how sad he is when he's walking out. Just so poor Dini. It's just so sad. Oh god. Then we have the winner, Tiki. Who's the winner?
Oh God. So on face value, Dragon, she looks like, she looks pretty much like spot on, right? Like very much kind of like as perfect as you can get in terms of the look.
Yeah, a little bustier, but yeah.
But then the second that she speaks, Dragon.
So I love this. Oh, Joker is looking at her. He has this great line. I've always remembered this Joker line because it's just so dark yet so charismatic the way Mark Hamill delivers it. Drown the kids and shoot the neighbors. We've got a winner. Then, of course, like, oh, Mr. G, I'll be the best Harley ever, Mr. G.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's modeled after Fran Drescher.
I believe so too, but Tiki, I have a voice actress for you, and she's a known TV, but known kind of a
I'm not
character.
saying the voice actress is Fran Drescher. I'm saying it's inspired by Fran
No,
Drescher.
I know, but here's the thing: that for years, I think we've all had the same thing where it looks very much a modeled after Fran Drescher. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I can never confirm it. I've tried to confirm it, but I can never do it. But if you look at the actress too, it's like a little simple. Here's the thing: there's another kind of okay, so the actress who plays fake Harley here is Maggie Wheeler. Now, Maggie Wheeler, people may not know her by name, but if they've ever watched Friends, they know her.
Janice.
Janice.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at the end, I mean, for all these years, we're looking at as Fran Drescher, but if you look at her now, little Janice.
No, honestly, Janice and Fran Drescher have like a very, very like there's a lot of similarities between the two.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying either or it could be, but the point being, so it's just so fun that is Janice from Friends as fake Harley. It's really funny. The ultimate annoying girlfriend, where it's like, nice kid, but she means well. You like Janice, but still, it's like, could you live with that laugh, though? I love the runner of fake Harley. Just the idea, just like, not just Harley, just like, fake Harley. Any suggestions? I just love it.
Yes, that's...
What I'm talking about is that Harley Joker writing, by the way. Again, it feels so on brand with all this stuff. Okay, especially like the gang and the assembly and everything. Okay, so Joker. Anyway, so okay, what was it? So after the fake Harley gag, a guy walks in. So a guy walks in. Joker says, "I'm sorry, the hench girl position's been filled." And he breaks the fourth wall here, as Joker was wont to do, especially in the '50s, and quite nicely too. And then we reveal this man. This guy sounds so Joe Leahy-esque. He's not Joe Leahy, but he sounds like him. It's this guy. Hello, my name is Perry. He just sounds so friendly. Look how friendly this guy sounds. My name is
very
Perry.
much the type of guy who's like, uses his soft voice to lure you into a false sense of security.
He works for the IRS, kids. Run. Yep, so he's basically his friendly demeanor of the IRS's taxman being deployed here, and he hits Joker with the taxes per his very large recent bounty, which the taxes due after a scream we reveal is, I'm just going to say it like Joker did earlier, 137 million! No!
37?
137 mil. Not good. Think about how much that is compared to the 250 million. That's a lot of tax.
It is, man. It's practically... No, it's more than half, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is, frankly.
I mean, plus there's like jewelry, and it's like some of it's in jewels and gold. I don't know. The point being, it's like we know it's doomed anyway. So like, let's not question it. So, anyway, so Joker. Then we have one of the best lines Dini came up with here. So we have this frantic. I think Dini came up with it. We have this frantic gathering of money from the safe, because basically what we saw earlier, all the stuff was put in the safe. So again, Joker had cash out, but a lot of it was basically anytime he went to an ATM, he pulled this money out, but he didn't actually go to the vault to get it, which is important. So he goes to the vault, as they're gathering the money, and basically he has to pay the IRS so he can avoid jail time, a la the whole Al Capone of it all. I'm crazy enough to take on the Batman, but the IRS, no, thank you.
That sounds like another kind of Simpsons line right there.
Yeah, big my. Oh yeah. And presumably Joker, if he's not careful, again, if he gets nabbed for a crime, I mean, then again, his record has been wiped clean, so I guess he wouldn't. He's always at risk of getting the death penalty if he went to an actual prison, but in this case, he hasn't killed anyone, so he's fine, I guess. But point being, he would not go back to Arkham if he's caught, if he's actually jailed by the IRS. There is a threat here too.
Mm.
All right, so Fake Harley points something out, Tiki. What does she point out?
She points out that the bills are fakes.
Yep, that ain't Ben Franklin on those bills. It's
You call that Ben Franklin?
Yeah, right down to his chubby King Barlow. It's on this too. It's on the thousands. Hey, again, after our coverage of Better Call Saul, fun fact: we have the $1,000 bills in this because in the comic, which takes place in the 50s, the $1,000 bill was a thing.
Well, there you go.
They got rid of it in '69, so it's a little fun fact: $1,000 bills. Okay, so they find a tape. What happens with they put in the tape, Tiki? What is on this wondrous VHS galore?
All right, so this is basically King Barlow just laying out the scam. Like, yeah, I gave you some cash. I gave you 10 million, but the rest is fake. And so essentially, Dragon, the scheme is to lull Joker into a false sense of security, get him to blow all the real money he has, and then when Mr. Taxman comes around, he's going to be screwed.
Yep. Joker's put into a position where he's been made to look a fool, which Joker does not like. Where Barlow gets to have the last laugh at the Joker's expense here, which is that if he comes clean, if he admits that Barlow got the best of him, he'll be the laughing stock of the underworld. Which oh boy.
And we have that really haunting bit where he's like he laughs so hard that he almost suffocates himself and barely survives when he puts back on the oxygen tank.
I know, and I love those running. It's kind of like a nod to Phantasm, maybe with the Abe Vigoda, with Sal Valestra, like with the oxygen. Dini loves putting the oxygen tank mobsters in these Batman episodes. It works. And of course, I love the tension in this scene where as this tape's playing and the hench people know, like Ernie and Fake Harley, they know, okay, this is not going well, so they all scatter when Joker gets up from the throne because Joker's not smiling at all during this scene. He's not laughing at just that kind of the irony of it all. No, he's just pissed off, and he's walking up there and we just have as Barlow's suffocating as his last laugh, which ticks Joker off, just the last laugh. Well, shoots the TV, and just a very dour, very serious looking Joker. So mad. It's like, yeah, this is oh boy. So then we have basically Joker's brainstorming on his little throne. I love the design of his mansion too. This is a great Joker lair, like all the giant heads and everything. The
Scrabble letters, stalk, kill.
Oh, it's so great. So Ernie suggests, as I think we all do, especially me, he says, hey, why don't you pull a classic routine like those laughing fish? I always love the animation here, which again points to the revamp. And the animation
I love the fact that they reference the laughing fish.
Yeah. And that's the thing, to your point earlier, again, one of the benefits of the revamp is that Joker is animated really fluidly and rather consistently. I gotta give him points there. Where again, when he does stuff like this, really swift motions that feel like Mark Hamill's voice as he performs the Joker, he says, "Good idea, Ernie," as he's patting him on the head. He says, "And let's let Batman know that it's me behind us, so we can hold my key stub back to Arkham."
Right.
Not a good plan.
Another important point is the line work there. It's the fluid animation and the line work on the face. I feel like the more lines we have on Joker's face, the more emotive it is, at least for me.
No, I think you're right about that. So again, so they get to what I'm saying. Like the point being, we're at a point now where we can put lines on his face without it doing the thing like it did in another great episode, but marred by the animation. Joker's Wild. Joker's Wild, great episode, but the animation, Joker looks terrible in that episode. I'm sorry, he does not look good. Too many lines on his face, and Harley and Ivy, great episode, lines on his face.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so then that was great. Fake Harley, any ideas? anything you say, Mr. G. She's like not interested at all. At least Harley would be. It's like doing the nail file thing, and Joker gets so mad he almost shoots her, and Ernie has to stop because no, we don't need a like, boss, no. And then again, it's classic again, the classic Joker Harley relationship. He hates when he's with her, but he hates it more when he's without her. You know?
Yep.
It's like, who'd think I missed the real one? Cut to what's the real one up to, Tiki?
Well, you know, she would be staging an elaborate breakout via the laundry chute, Dragon. You know, that's the ideal situation, but the real situation is somehow she caught herself in a washing machine.
And I love how Ivy's like just scoffing at the guards, like, no, none of these loons are crazy enough to pull that old hat trick. He's like, ha! Just like laughing at her friend, like, of course you. Ivy, so get me out of here. She's somehow caught. Oh, it's ridiculous. All right. So
meanwhile, back at the Iceberg Lounge.
Another one of my favorite scenes coming up. I love this. A lot of good scenes in this episode, folks. I'm sorry. It's really good.
Joker having a casual conversation with Bruce Wayne, and how often do we get to see that?
Oh, God, it's so rare. So we have this great scene. Bruce Wayne at the Iceberg Lounge. He's welcomed by the Penguin. Joker spots him. It just says, hey, Bruce Wayne, why don't you join me? You'll understand if I refuse. You threw me off the building recently. He says, really? It was so long ago. Again, this is a reference to World's Finest, by the way. It was last month. And you just see and I love the stare down. It's Bruce Wayne staring him down. And you see this, you know, here's the thing. Unfortunately, yet again, if our Joker had the regular eyes, this scene would be even better. Because you know it's definitely not the Joker. Because we use Mark Hamill doing the voice and everything in this scene. It's almost seamless until he sweats. But again, why can we
once he sweats, it's kind of a dead giveaway.
It is, but I'm just saying, even before this point, like, you can tell the Joker's eyes are wrong in this scene. He's got the white eyes with the black pupils, like he's supposed to have, where our Joker is revamped. Anyway, again, a little marred by the revamp, but an excellent scene. But then he does the Kill and Joke homage. He wipes off the makeup, which we kind of do in Kill and Joke, where like we reveal, oh no, it's an imposter in the Joker suit. So then he just plays it cool. Well, I'll be off then. So he goes to the men's room. He's all freaked out. Like, oh man, it's really getting to me. And then it happens. Batman, one of the great Batman interrogations.
Oh yeah.
Just the shadow emerges over the stall, and just Batman's been really ticked off this whole episode of the Joker. He finally has him. He's finally got him. He says, why did disguise, Ernie? He starts always saying, you should have worn more makeup. Why did disguise him? Where is he?
And then, of course, this is all happening as Penguin and his entourage is listening outside, and, you know, Penguin's like, he cannot interrogate like this in my facility. But no, it's no use. Just like a classic, like, Dark Knight style, like, where is he? Interrogation is taking place.
I just love how we don't see it, but I just love playing with the Penguins, or like Penguin and
I honestly feel like the fact that we don't see it makes it more intense.
And of course, they sit there like, I don't know. Let me jog your memory then. And you hear like the swirly going on. He's like basically dunking him in the toilet. It's just like, and just like Penguin's like, okay, I'm out of here. I don't want to hear this. Oh, it's great. Now, take this little switch they kind of switched it around in the comics. And I think there's a brilliant thing they did in the adaptation. Just see, in the comic, it was a little more mean. Well, let me tell you what happened. So Batman set up the Joker for his crime in the comic. He found out Joker was had, and Batman was undercover. So he was Bruce Wayne in disguise. And he basically tricked Joker into pulling a heist, which got him caught, which, again, is a little dirty pull at the end of the day when you really look at that story. So we kind of switch it up here. Okay, we have the Joker in disguise as the ultimate alibi. So the idea is Joker's pulling his scheme right now. Ernie is like, well, it couldn't have possibly been him because he's at the Iceberg Lounge. Bunch of witnesses. But he ain't fooling Bruce Wayne, though. All right, so speaking of which, so now we have the heist going on here. Pretty straightforward, being the idea. Like, Joker wouldn't go this straightforward. It's no whammo blammo here.
It's just basically like robbing a money truck, right? Except it's a boat.
Basically, it's the Gotham. These guys, it's an armored car shipment from the Gotham Mint. They're money,
right.
And they're going on a ferry to get from point A to point B here, and Joker's hijacked the ferry. Got Mark Hamill doing like his Casey Kasem kind of dock worker sort of thing. You're like, ready to board. Your police transport is waiting. So then he basically knockout gasses the guards, and basically he's kind of remarking to himself, no laughing gas, no No grins? No way Batboy can trace any of this to me. And of course, the boat's kind of going all over the place. It's like, hey, keep the boat in the water! As we reveal none other than fake Harley is steering.
Oh, God.
This was not in the
This
job.
definitely wasn't in the job description, Mr. G.
Oh boy! So Joker, for a moment there, he's just kind of reveling. He's just kind of reveling in the money. He's reacquainting
Classic
himself.
villain hubris, Dragon.
Yep, he's reacquainting himself with the
Soaking in
money.
the moment too long.
Yep, absolutely. So then the bat plane comes down, blows the money away, and Joker's kind of panicking and kind of like floundering this whole scene, chasing after the money. Batman, Batgirl, Nightwing, they take out the gunman. The money begins to hit the propeller blades. So again, like a perfect image for the Joker. Like, oh, he's been going after money this whole episode, and it's just going. It's being eviscerated before him. It seems like he's about to dive in after the money. Batgirl kind of swoops, like kind of bat ropes his legs. Says, "What are you doing? You can't save that money." "I'm not trying to save it. I'm trying to go with it.
Oh, God.
I want to go with it."
At that point, Dragon, he's pretty much just gone.
Yep, and then Batman reels the Joker in with one big old tug as he tries to go for the leap. And then Batman has the ultimate comeback here. Again, really, sparse Batman dialogue that really sings when he says something, man. "Here, you can call your fancy lawyers. It's on me," as he like flips a dime at him. So he can make the phone calls. So Joker and the hench people are being led away, including fake Harley, unmasked. Again, looks like either Wheeler or Fran Drescher, depending on your preference. Dark hair, blue eyes.
They're very similar people, Dragon. Just generally speaking, it's weird.
You're right. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. For years, I was thinking Fran Drescher too, and pretty much. I mean, honestly, till today, just like find out who did the voice. Like, oh my god, it's like.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an equity gig, honest. So Joker's been arrested. He's getting in the awesome transports. I love we brought the old bread box transports back from the animated series. So Joker's being led away, and there's a guard sitting across from Lady Guard. Ooh.
And around this time, Dragon, I was in my mind, I was kind of like, wait a minute, they never resolved their Harley thing. So there we go. Just kind of the every part of the Buffalo approach. We get the payoff.
So Joker's figuring, again, this is like a logical thing for the Joker to kind of think here, well, it's only money, and let the taxpayers foot my bill. Again, insult to the legal system yet again, where, technically he's going to go for the insanity pleas, he tends to do. And, it's just going to be more taxpayer money. He's like footing the bill for all his crime. But it's going to be nice to see the old gang. Then we hear this lady in the back say, "One of them's dying to see you too, Puddin'," as we reveal Harley in the guard outfit. Harley, the one and only. I love Arlene Sorkin's pointed dialogue here. Just the one and only. "Oh, you don't know how happy I am to see you." And then she just as we reveal the Billy Club. "Welcome to the club." And then of course, see, Tiki, here's the thing. So rarely do we do this. I mean, of course, now we get to do it in the Harley Quinn animated show and stuff like that. But it was always a hard thing in the comics when we get into this period where Harley would beat the crap out of the Joker. Where moments like this, in trouble with the wife kind of comedy, it worked wonders. Where you could always kind of win here. It's like Joker's like, "Oh, listen, baby, let me explain." And of course, he's getting the crap beat out of him off screen. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the episode. Joker taking his lumps. Penny.
All right, so Dragon, final thoughts. I just think that this is a very, very, really lived in, I think is the word I'm looking for to describe it. It's just a great kind of, take on the Joker in terms of just his day-to-day lifestyle, but also showing off his hubris. In Act 1, he's never really been more pathetic, and then in Act 2, his ego just gets out of control. So it really does kind of just, give you all the best parts of Joker. And like you said, the Bruce Wayne Batman stuff is also really good and kind of a fun build-up as Bruce Wayne just gets more and more pissed. So overall, I think this one's a winner. I mean, I don't think it's quite up there with the last one we talked about, but I still think it's steadily one of the best 2 or 3 of season 4 so far that we've talked about in the initial run so far.
Before I give my final thoughts, one thing we forgot to mention, one little bit. I love after fake Harley laughs, he has that great line, "Maybe I should have hired the fat guy."
Right.
It's just sorry, this is gold line. We got to get it in there somewhere. All right. Okay, final thoughts from me. Again, not counting Mad Love, you got to remember this season, kind of like what we were talking about last time with the Scarecrow. Again, each of these villains really gets one kind of main headline shot this season. I mean, pretty much. I mean, they're very. I'm saying Joker does show up a couple times. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it's like the first like full on like Joker episode because Mad Love's really Harley's episode ultimately. So really, this is like Joker's big episode. And again, we're kind of making every shot count for the most part with all these villains, especially with Joker. And again, I love. Again, we kind of took this 50s era story. It's some people. The only complaint really against this episode, because it is fun. Anyway, slicing, you never really hear anyone say like it's a bad episode or anything. You're gonna hear people say it's not really consistent with how Joker usually is. But that's what I'm saying though. Yes, that is because we're adapting something from the 50s, which may not exactly jive with this Joker. But I think Dini did an excellent job in adapting it and kind of making it work with this Joker. And I think Mark Hamill makes all these bits sing, and I think it comes. I know it's kind of like in Water is Wet. Mark Hamill's good as the Joker, but you see my point, though. I just think it all kind of comes together despite that, and I love how this plays, just given how we've been going through the animated series, how this plays after so many reforms on Batman being so ticked off by that, and just how it all kind of comes together. And I love Dini keeps reinventing the wheel on the reform story. It hasn't really repeated itself, in my opinion, and we get to this point where it's an utter farce at this point. We can't reinvent it anymore after that ventriloquist episode. It's like, okay, well Joker's going to make fun of it then. By giving a whole bunch of money.
Much.
It's like, it's
logical
genius.
Next step, yeah.
Yep, and again, it's kind of a shame we couldn't. If the only flaw of this episode, if we could only switch Joker's eyes, I think it'd be perfect. But it's great.
Right. Okay, take us out.
Robin in love, an indestructible father on the loose, an all too familiar voice. Can the boy wonder save the day without Batman's help? Will Annie survive the end of the episode? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next episode of the Animated Batcave with Growing Pains.
Let the good times roll.
Chandler, you'll never believe what happened to me this weekend. I took a job for a weird clown guy.